We're going to focus on hunger in America, and it's hard to believe that last year more than 37 million people were at risk of hunger, including 11 million children in the United States and 5 million seniors. Joining me this morning to talk about this is Zuani Villarreal, Director of Communication for Feeding America. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, thank you.
You know, these statistics, it's hard for me to imagine that in this country this is happening.
Exactly, it's 37 million people in the United States struggle with hunger. It's more than 11 million children, 5 million seniors. They're in every community, in every county, in every parish in the United States. Our Map the Meal Gap study tells us that. People don't realize it's kind of hidden hunger. And it affects families, it affects seniors, it affects children. And many have to make tough choices, and they don't realize they've never found themselves in the situation before where an car accident or an illness or a medical diagnosis just kind of throws their whole budget off, and they're struggling to put food on the table.
And I think of the children. I always think of the children and, you know, just how important nutrition is for their development.
Exactly. 11 million children here in the United States struggle with hunger. They may get their only meal from school at that free or reduced price lunch. So Feeding America has programs that help combat that.
Let's talk about Feeding America. It's an amazing organization. How is it helping so many people in this country?
Well, Feeding America is this incredible network of 200 food banks. Those 200 food banks partner with 60,000 partner food pantries and agencies and community centers to provide meals and food to families in need. Through that network, we're serving every community in the country, from Puerto Rico to Washington State to Alaska and Hawaii. All over the country, the food banks are serving people in need. And those 200 food banks have been doing incredible work, and they're helping 1 in 7 households with food assistance.
And speaking of food banks, I want to share with our viewers a food bank that you took us to in Miami. It was amazing to see how volunteers come together and what impact Feeding America is having. Take a look.
It's an incredible feeling. I truly am humbled to do what I do. There's nothing more important than providing the most basic needs for families. So the whole idea is to give kids the proper nutrition they need on weekends to come to school ready to work the next day.
This is very important to the community because a lot of people don't have. You know, just have milk, a cornflake. Hey, that's a meal for a kid. You know, a lot of people don't have that these days. With this food stamp thing, you know, like I get $15 a month, so you know, really, this is a big blessing for me.
I mean, it was just so, I just loved seeing those teenagers helping out. Thank you so much for taking me and the crew. It was just great.
No, thank you. And that was Feeding South Florida, one of our partners, one of our 200 food banks here in the United States.
I do want to tell our viewers a little bit about the history of Feeding America. I read up on it, and I thought it was fascinating. It started in the late 1960s with a man named Van Hengel. Tell me about this man.
Yeah, John Van Hengel was a retired businessman and a volunteer at a food pantry. And this was in the late 60s, so it's been over 50 years now. He found a woman that was going through dumpsters looking for food. And the idea of a bank, a food bank, where somebody can make a donation and somebody that needs food can take it out, that's where the inception and the idea of Feeding America started, of food banking, really. So that was more than 50 years ago.
Can you imagine?
The first food bank was established there in Phoenix, Arizona, St. Mary's Food Bank. And then years later, the organization went national and Feeding America was started.
And 50 years later, I'm reading here, Feeding America has served billions of meals. That's fantastic. For our viewers, are there ways of getting involved, whether it be giving food, funds, or even volunteering?
Absolutely. So anybody that wants to volunteer, there's 200 food banks across the country, so they can go to feedingamerica.org. There's a food bank locator. They can find their local food bank. Donations help us do what we do and put food on the table. So donations of food, donations of money always help Feeding America to help people in need.
So it's feedingamerica.org, and I do want to make a point that you can help all year round, because I know the holidays are important, but always remember that there's 365 in the year.
Exactly. Hunger doesn't take a vacation. hunger is year-round.
Good point. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking us, and thank you for making me realize how blessed we are. And if you'd like more information, go to thebalancingact.com. Again, it's feedingamerica.org. Help them out all year round.